Today, we're going to simplify the TH12 Zap Lalo Attack Strategy and how you can earn more 3 stars with the Zap Lavaloon. What's going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt, and that is right, guys. We're going to be going over the best Lavaloon attack strategy at TH12, the Zap Lalo. Now, we want to go over a couple different things that you need to know about this to simplify this attack down for you and to not overload you with so much information. So we're going to start off with what you should be looking for when you're scouting. The simple terms is what you're looking for is predominantly going to be the enemy CC and the enemy queen. On top of this, try to look for the key threat buildings such as the Town Hall, Inferno Tower set to single or to multi, and also the Eagle Artillery. So those are things that you really need to look for when you're scouting. Now, the ZapQuake is a very simple approach. You want to look for anything that is around the clan castle. The clan castle will take 6 lightning spells. So if you can get rid of stuff like the air sweepers or other air targeting defenses like expos, you can of course do that, but maybe try to look for any other buildings that you can use to create pathing. At the end of the day, what you're doing with this is you are creating pathing and creating a little widget within the base to make it a lot easier for you to see the predictable pathing for your Lavaloon. Now, the other part with this attack is you're going to be using a Sui hero. Typically, this is going to consist of the king and queen going in for the town hall. In this case, there was an open wall, so we didn't need to use a super wall breaker. However, if you want to use a super wall breaker, you can always use that, and sometimes it might also be good to use the Sui hero to go in for something else other than the town hall. So those are just things that you need to consider upon the base. Now, let's first show you guys the ZapQuake. This is probably the most important part about this attack, and you're going to be using the Earthquake first or last, it doesn't matter, but you're going to be using the lightning spells not to just get rid of the clan castle, but also to get rid of buildings to create pathing. So when you start your Lavaloon, or when you start your Sui hero, you're going to make it a lot easier for them to get value. So stuff that you look at in terms of a Sui hero can really be any air targeting defenses. Stuff like the Town Hall is going to be something that you should consider, but stuff like maybe the multi-infernos, wizard towers, air defenses, etc. Those are things that you may want to consider getting when you're doing the Sui hero. So you want to make sure that you are easily allowing yourself to get to the Town Hall and getting rid of that as soon as you can. Now, if the king goes in for it, you don't need to worry about getting rid of it with the Lavaloon, which is definitely something that you could possibly do. Now, talking about the Lavaloon portion, I want you guys to see the air defense placement. So if we take a look here, we can send in a Stone Slammer to take care of this building here. And what we can then do is send in a Lava Hound with balloons right behind to this air defense. Then we can send in another Lava Hound with balloons to this air defense. That way, what we're able to do is then send our balloons here for those, and then overwhelm the last remaining air defense where that multi-target Inferno is. Very simple. Just try to understand that when you guys are doing this. Try not to overcomplicate things when you're doing this. Now, this is going to be surgical placement, where you're going to be placing your balloons within multiple groups, and there's a lot going on. So let's make this a little bit more simple for you guys. You want to drop 3, 4, 5, 6 balloons per group, depending on the defenses that you're going in for. So sometimes it might just be better to surgically spam stuff in, but you can always do that, later on in the attack. But primarily, you can see that we're using the Lavaloon to go ahead and move through. The haste spells are being used on the balloons to get them to defenses like the Expos, Eagle, Wizard Tower, Air Defense, Multi-Target Infernos. On top of this, you may have noticed that the Queen is still up. We have the Dragon that is still up, and that's going to take care of the enemy Queen for us. Now, another thing that you could use is a Headhunter. It's a great choice, and you could really use it to keep the Lavaloon moving if you don't decide to bring a dragon within the Stone Slammer. Now you'll see that as we're pushing into the base, we're using the free spells over splash defenses and or the air defenses if they're close. And this can offer you a lot of really good value when you're doing the Lavaloon. And notice how we were able to keep everything within a group. Now one quick thing to also keep in mind about this attack is sometimes it might be better to use the Blimp over a Slammer. If the Slammer is able to easily move into the Town Hall, if it's in the center of the base, use that. But if not, use a Battle Blimp. So that kind of gives you guys a really good idea of how you guys can use the Lavaloon. But we also want to go over a couple things if you also want to be very creative with this. If there are certain elements of a base design that might not be fit for using a Zap Lalo. Now, also learning how to use your lightning spells in other forms is actually going to help you become a better attacker. So in this case here, we actually saw that the clan castle was easy to get rid of with using a couple sneaky goblins. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. But because we did that, what else should we ZapQuake? Well, in this case, we brought 4 lightning and 1 earthquake. This is enough to get rid of a multi-target inferno like you see here, getting rid of the sweepers and using the earthquake to get rid of the multi-target inferno. Now there are also other ways that you can use this. For instance, if there's an entire compartment that you can easily get rid of, just like this one, then you would be able to overwhelm the rest of the base. Now the best part about this using the lightning spells over on a multi-inferno is that you're getting rid of a particular area of the base for either your Sui hero or for your Lalo. So if we see here, if we're going to be using a Sui hero that's going to get rid of these buildings here, then what we've got already is easy pathing that becomes this sort of C shape. And that's what you want to take advantage of. So if you're able to get rid of a core of the base, you can create this almost like a donut. And that's what you should be trying to think about if you're going to be using it. So try to look for some sort of value with your lightning spells. And if you really get to understand the use of that, you can really take advantage of pathing when you're doing this. But now let's also talk about what if there is not much ZapQuake value around the clan castle or just in general. Now, if there's not that much ZapQuake value around the clan castle or around other things like the multi-target infernos, so like in this base design here, you may want to consider doing a queen charge. Now let's simplify this for you. Let's take a look at what we can get with a queen charge. If we can step up with our queen and getting rid of the multi-target inferno, we can get rid of the queen, the clan castle, and if our queen walks down this direction, we can get rid of a couple expos and the eagle artillery, and possibly the town hall as well. So that is what you really want to consider if you're using the queen charge. You want to try and solely focus on this queen to getting rid of as much value as you can. So you're going to be using rage spells in order to protect the queen as she moves through. And you may also use lightning spells to provide a little bit of support for the healers. That way they're not getting pushed back all the time. So you can use lightning spells to do exactly that and make it a lot easier for your queen to move in. So if you're getting hit by a lot of heavy fire, it might be nice to use the lightning spells. And you'll see that again, we're dealing with the clan castle troops, but we're going to be dealing with it with a poison spell. Like in this case, there's a lava hound, and we're going to use the rage spell to keep our queen raged up and being there in order to get rid of the enemy clan castle troops. Other than this though, you just want to really try and focus on getting rid of as much value as you can. So in this case here, we're using this queen. She's going to break through the wall, and we're going to easily get into the eagle artillery compartment. We're going to have access to it and possibly over to the town hall. So that just really gives you a good idea of exactly what you should be doing if you're going to be using the queen charge with the Lavaloon. Let's also touch upon dealing with the enemy clan castle troops. Now we did show this base, and we did show the use of the lightning spells on the Inferno, but the main reason to why the attacker did this is take a look at where the clan castle is placed. Now this is going to be using sneaky goblins and a jump. So if you see a clan castle like this that's either on the outside or is behind walls but can be easily jumped into, go ahead and do that, because you can easily take down the enemy clan castle troops or the enemy clan castle building without using lightning. All you have to do is just use sneaky goblins and a jump. Now this jump can also be used to connect other parts of the attack, like for a Sui hero. Six sneaky goblins are more than enough to get rid of the clan castle. So if you are considering about using the sneaky goblins and a jump, you can of course do just that. So take a look at the Sui hero and how we're getting that value also from that jump spell, making it even easier for us to get rid of a very important key defense. Not just the air defenses, but also the eagle artillery. Getting rid of that is huge value. Now, another thing that you could possibly do here is you could also go ahead and bring a poison. A poison can be used in case you already use the ZapQuake on an Inferno compartment, and you can use the poison to really deal with the enemy clan castle troops. So all you have to do is really lure them out and deal with it using a poison if you don't see the value of zapping away the clan castle. So those are just things that you may want to consider if you're going to be using the Zap Lalo. Now let's also talk about the Lavaloon deployment and spells. I want this to be the final thing that we talk about because this is also a very important part. So if you're here and you're able to kind of listen in on this, let's talk about this for a couple moments. Now, knowing the number of balloons that you need for each defense is incredibly important. So let's take a look at this top area here. Let's take a look. We've got a cannon going into an air defense. We've got an archer tower here, an archer tower here. So what should we be doing in this case? We're sending in a blimp, or we're sending in the lava hound for this first air defense, and we could send in our second one right here for the other air defense. So that means where are we going to be using our balloons? It's on each of the outer defensive structures. So on screen, you're going to see the number of balloons that you need for each and every defense in the game. Don't worry about the big key defenses like the Giga Tesla, the Eagle Artillery, stuff like that. Worry about stuff that's on the outsides most of the time on the base. So wizard towers, air defenses, archer towers, cannons, mortars. Those are all things that you want to consider. So you'll see that we're going to be dropping in balloons on each of these defenses. And if we can get the warden to surround a couple groups of them, that's even better. So you'll see that exactly what we're doing here. So we're making it a lot easier for the Lavaloon portion to go through. Notice the use of the haste. We're encompassing multiple defenses so the balloons can get there swiftly. On top of this, we can use the hastes once they start to bunch up, and they can start to go over and move into other parts. And we're still doing the Lavaloon because like we saw before, if there are more defensive buildings that take only 2 balloons, maybe try to save that. You don't have to use all your balloons at the beginning, and you could easily overwhelm other structures. The free spells are being deployed on stuff like the stuff like the multi-infernos, the expos, things that are going to be the most deadly to your attack, like the wizard tower right here with the Tesla farm. And we're going to use the haste to get through this. Now, the tornado trap is always going to be a big threat, but just consider those things if you're doing this. And something I also didn't mention in the last part was just going over the cleanup and using your minions right after you start to deploy your Lavaloon, right after you kind of started your Lavaloon portion, and making sure that you're starting your cleanup really early. So that gives you guys a really good idea of how you can use the Zap Lalo effectively no matter what Town Hall levels. Hopefully this kind of really helps you guys understand how to use it here at Town Hall 12, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Make sure you guys share with your clanmates so that they can become better attackers with the Lavaloon, and make sure that you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, and remember to use code CorruptYT in the Clash Champ shop to save 10% off your purchase. Make sure you guys follow me over on the social and join my Discord server, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.